All right, well, let's do this. Start us off.
Don't tell me what to do.
You're
Hey,
gonna do it though.
I would say it one time. I'm gonna say it one time. You
Oh my
understand?
god. What?
Listen here, bub. I go where I wanna go.
Easy leaving.
Okay, I didn't really leave. Did I have you going? All right, whatever. Shut up. Too late. Here we go. Guys, so welcome to the Thirsty Nerds podcast. This is a Thirst Quencher. We are doing a full review, a full-throated review. That sounds... Never mind.
Wow.
We're doing a full-on review for the Resident Evil franchise film series in its entirety. All right. So that means 1 through final chapter. All right. I am joined here by two of my nearest and dearest friends who have suffered with me long hours tracking down these movies for free on the internet and watching this garbage. Now, it wasn't all bad.
They weren't all free. We did pay for one of them.
I paid. Yeah, we paid for the last one. It was $4. It's whatever.
$4 too many.
It's a small price to pay.
Small price to pay for your entertainment.
For my entertainment, yes. At least, like I said, if I could rent something, it was like that much, whatever. It's fine. Throw it into the fire.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, hello. My name is Chris, also known as King. What's up?
Now, how do you guys want to cut this?
How do you want to cut it? I wish we cut it up as in like, what do you mean cut it up? Are we going to just talk about the entirety? Or do you want to talk about movie by movie and then separate it to have like roll out through?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, did you guys want to just like take it all, take one big shit, or you want to cut it off in small pieces?
I would like us to just go through each. Well, I would like for us to go through each one separately, and then we can look as a whole. I don't know. I feel like each one deserves at least a little bit of a look. So just like
I agree.
Yeah. So just like doing a big dump. Yeah.
Yeah, doing a big
like
dump.
A chronological one. Because nobody likes to sit down and stand back up to sit back down.
Yes, of course. Chronological. So as we begin, we start with Resident Evil.
The only good one.
The only one with the accurate title. Even though at first it was going to be called Ground Zero, fun fact, but they changed it because of, 9/11. So.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of wish that they hadn't changed it.
To Resident Evil Ground Zero? Yeah.
Because that would have given some context, because it literally is a Ground Zero.
Of this tragedy, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a Ground Zero and with a lot of fallout. And it brings a this series. The first one comes to us with a a little bit of intrigue. It's a start of what would become a franchise and a
unbeknownst to us,
what will become a franchise, and potentially some real acting chops from Milla Jovovich after Fifth Element. People have been wondering where she's been at. I personally was wondering, man, what's Milla doing these days? And then like, oh shit, you telling me there's a movie based off of a video game that I played and she's in it? I said, well, I mean, sign me up.
Exactly.
Right? We had no idea.
Oh my god.
Okay, guys.
It was par for the course with this, right? That we all went in there expecting almost nothing, because even to this day, when you hear about a video game movie happening, nobody expects much.
Not at all. Actually, you know what?
I have to say, I mean, I was still young, young and dumb. So like back in the day,
what else? Finish it.
Fat.
No, that's not how this saying goes.
Young, dumb, and what?
Broke.
It's broke.
Young, dumb, and full of what?
Calm.
There you go. That's
Hey,
what I'm waiting on.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, next time. But yeah, so like when I heard about this, back in the day, I saw like what Mortal Kombat, fucking the Mario Brothers movie. I would have. I mean, if it entertained me a
Doom.
little bit, oh yeah, Doom. Oh my god, Doom. If it entertained me at least a little bit,
I
it's
like
like
Doom. Okay, I
whatever.
don't care.
Or like what, like the Final Fantasy movie, even though it has nothing to do with Final Fantasy at all,
But was still actually pretty
it
fucking
was
good.
good. It was a good film. Just
had nothing to do with Final Fantasy. Didn't make a lick of sense.
Absolutely nothing. But it was still good. So like coming into this, like okay, Resident Evil. I kind of knew that game. I think it was like before I even started playing the franchise at all. Like I started with 4. I only watched my dad play 2, so it's like, sure, why not? I watched this like afterward when back in the day. I was like, that was something, I guess. It's like what it came out in the third 2001 or 2000. Shit.
Wow, it really was a ground zero.
I think it came out 2001 or 2002.
Damn. Yeah, like that was
It's a long time.
I was like 11, 12? Fuck. I didn't know better. I'm like, this whatever. It was zombies. And my dad, being a big fucking nerd for the franchise, he dragged me to these movies. Or watched them on when he got the bootleg or whatever.
Dragged you to it?
Dragged me to it. Like, my dad used to really, like, I used to take any opportunity to be with him. And one of the things we shared was like watching horror movies and whatever with him. So, he would take me to movies. Some of them I didn't want to go, but he took me anyway, like Lord of the Rings. Every single one, and those were fucking boring as fuck.
Boring as shit.
As fuck. But I went to go see them.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying they weren't bad. They were bad movies or anything, but goddamn, they were boring.
For our child, they were fucking.
Maybe we should go through.
What? Oh, those? We could.
The Lord of the Rings movies, yeah.
I haven't rewatched them
those
since.
with young eyes.
I haven't watched. Yeah, I've never rewatched the Lord of the Rings franchise. I was done with it when I was like what? 3?
I never wanted to. Like, holy fuck.
I mean, but honestly, I think we could probably watch them because they like the average road time of them is nothing. I mean, a lot of the movies we've watched are either just as long or more, so we could revisit them. I don't think they're that bad anymore, but we'll see. But yeah, Resident Evil. It's okay.
Yeah, you know what?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's
a
not
watchable movie. Have fun with.
Like you know what it is. It's like the first 10, 15 minutes. This movie is just like action schlock with zombies. I feel bad for anyone who thought there was gonna be any lick of like Resident Evil-ness in this movie, but
Were we wrong for expecting that? Were we wrong for that? When
Yes.
the first movie?
Yes, we were. We were very wrong.
No, I don't think we were. We went in with a certain expectation because of the title and because of what the source material was. Okay, to come in to see that not only was it was not in Raccoon City. Well, I guess we wasn't even sure where it was. It was just in this random mansion place.
The problem is that we wanted this. We didn't know that at the time Hollywood wasn't doing the whole, oh, this isn't really for you type deal. It's more like for us to make money and boost stars.
Yeah.
So we were foolish and we didn't understand that. We were foolish, just like our fathers.
We're green.
Sins of the father, sins of the son. Yeah, it's like
the entire time we were sitting there watching that movie, going, "Who is this one? Where is Jill?
Where is any character that I recognize ever? Not a single one. Who the fuck is Alice? Who the fuck is Rain? who the fuck are all these other characters that don't
These walking corpses.
exactly? They're just body bags that get killed so they can further the plot a little, you know, to make try to manufacture some tension, which there weren't any at all. We don't give a fuck about any of these people. And then Alice has weird, like, oh yeah, she has amnesia. Oh my god. Oh, not only that, she's also a kung fu expert apparently, or she knows some sort of martial arts because she can jump around and kick dogs in the face midair.
Yeah, because at some point in time, she was like a 10-minute-old clone at that point in time.
Yep.
I mean, well, we don't know. We don't know, guys. Calm down.
Oh yeah. I mean, we are ahead of ourselves before I would say the retcons come in and everything just starts changing constantly because no one knows where the fuck this franchise is going. Kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, but it's whatever. I finished that, by the way. I'm all done.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I even played the Remind series. Yeah.
Oh, why? You paid for it?
Yeah, I paid for it.
You like to suffer, don't you?
I like to suffer. Yeah.
No.
I needed to know. I needed to know. Okay. I wanted to earn it. I know.
I went out of my way to tell you all about it. I went out of my way to tell you all about it, so you didn't have to go through it, and you still did it. What were my words for?
We have to learn the hard way. Okay.
Say it. Anyway. Say I was right.
Well, what?
Say I was right with Kingdom Hearts, and you didn't have to do that. Say it was a waste. Say it.
It was a waste? Look, the game was fun, okay? But the story is dumb. It's dumb stupid. It's a dumb poo-poo story, okay? But I have to say, I enjoyed a little bit of it. Like, I enjoyed the pirate world. We're not talking about Kingdom Hearts, okay? I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. But yeah, Resident Evil.
Right now, we're talking about a different pile of shit right now.
Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah, this is a whole different pile of shit. All right.
Yeah.
But I just have to say that I felt watching this movie felt like I don't know. It was okay. I kind of liked the little intrigue they had with this who is this person? How did they get here? Umbrella's like, they were clearly one person was a spy, and there's a bigger wheel turning here potentially. I mean, I thought like the way they were trying to set this up, it did, and I didn't mind the cast either. The cast was pretty legit for a video game movie. Like they were pretty legit. Like how they managed to get that one English cat, I don't know what his name is, but he was in the following, and I forget what else, but he's sort of a big deal for this kind of film. Like I didn't think I there's no way in my heart I could have seen him doing this, but they got a young Michelle Rodriguez, and let me just pause for a second because
she
makes
just let you know,
makes your palm sweaty.
She actually is a fan of Resident Evil and specifically told her agent to look out for the rumblings of a Resident Evil script. And as soon as someone, Paul W.S. Anderson, put out one, she jumped on it. She was like, yes, I am going to be in this Resident Evil franchise.
Do you think she was disappointed with that Resident Evil movie, or do you think she didn't care?
I don't think she cared. Look, it's Michelle Rodriguez.
She came back.
She came back.
I mean, let's be real. I would have came back too.
I mean, for that money, fuck yeah.
Guys. Yeah, fuck yeah. Especially, like, you mean tell me I have a bigger role and I get more money?
I get to beat up everybody else in the movie?
Look, yeah. You can't kill me.
You can't. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Jesus. I was so close. But fuck yeah. Resident Evil for the first movie, like I said, I kind of liked it. I don't know where she became like a kung fu expert and all that, but it is what it is. And I did like the movie for the most part. Don't know who Alice is, still don't know. But
we don't need to know.
Okay.
Exactly. She's there to just jump around and be somewhat attractive, at least at the time, and fight zombies. That's all. Like it's I appreciate Resident Evil for being what it was and being somewhat competent of what it was doing. Like if, but it's one. I have to say one of the more grounded ones out of any of these other Resident Evil films, which is saying a lot. Because after this, it goes fucking bonkers with no end in sight. Even though you felt like they can't go any further than this, and they do. They get dumber.
And maybe I'm off the sauce, but seeing what they did and actually thinking about what it was probably like to read it, it probably sounded better in theory than it was.
Oh yeah, I can see the writers' room just sitting there going, "Oh shit!" And you know what else would be dope? If we made like Alice find like a clone army.
No.
Like, are you just talking about in the first movie, or you just talking
about like the overall thing? Like how like I don't care about the powers. I think that was garbage. But the idea that she was mutating like the virus, but I don't like the powers.
The powers with no consequence whatsoever to them.
Yeah, no real consequence just happened.
Like, she just had it,
She's got stronger and stronger. But all these other people who are infected with the virus, or they got nothing. Like, yeah, she successfully bonded with it, but how come these zombies don't have super?
I mean, usually, let's be honest, like most of the time they're men. Men are evilly inside, so it just brings out their ugliness.
They're almost one though.
What the fuck?
Tell that to Excella Gianni.
Ooh, man. I love that woman.
She got ugly, and I hated it. I'm like, oh no.
No, you belong in a garbage can.
You belong in a garbage can.
When I played that game, I was like, Tara!
Jill, maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't.
So the first movie gave us the iconic laser room.
Yes. Yeah. That will continue to come back forever.
That
will continue
boy,
to
are they not done with that?
Throughout the entirety of the also happened. Every single movie is that there is a Doberman, a zombie. Every movie is out.
Yeah, like I don't know where. Like, are they highly bred in this area, like in America at this point? Like everyone has a Doberman because they're just everywhere.
Well, because that's the dog in the video game, right? So they're going to be like, let's just keep bringing them back.
And that's the one thing that pisses me off. Like, you guys, okay, either A, you make a movie that's completely not the video game, or B, make a movie like the video game. Don't try and give me this mishmash of shit. Because at certain points, I'm like, these guys haven't played the video game. But then you didn't show me shit like, wait a second. They clearly saw something from the game because this shit keeps coming back. Like the Dobermans, the zombie dogs, the fucking liquors, the fucking the facilities, and the fucking Umbrella Corporation and everything. They must have played something. And then when I did a little research before we started the podcast, I found out that apparently the cast members were required to play the game all the way through to research on their characters. What characters? I don't know.
What characters? But let's be fair. Let's be fair in retrospect. I've never played a Resident Evil game. Correct me if I am wrong.
Yes.
Is there enough information in like the first 1 or 2 video games to make a full feature-length movie besides here are zombies, shoot them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like honestly. There's too much. All you have to do is just water it down, like a little bit, and it should be edible for a film or a series. It would probably have been better for a series, obviously, but
clearly.
But I think there's something there to make a movie, and it could be an action film. I don't care. Like, it's whatever. I know.
This movie clearly action.
Clearly,
you know what? I think that was another one of the big problems with this movie. Like, they went at it from an action, and the first one was definitely more like suspense. The first few were definitely more like suspense, and like survival horror. There you go.
Survival horror. You mean like for the first 2 games?
Yeah, survival horror for the first 2 games, and the movies were solely trying to make action flicks.
Yeah, so that direction would have helped a lot. In the first movie, to clarify what direction it wanted to take, it clearly wanted action.
Yeah, from the
Later
very
on,
beginning. And they tried to be scary. They even tried to implement like cliche horror elements, like the scares, the fake outs. And I'm like, okay, well, this isn't a horror film, so stop that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, like
someone doesn't need to come
rewatching
up to
it,
someone.
they had the audacity. Like rewatching it, that stuff happened, and you're like, you have the audacity to do this.
Exactly. Like, how many times have we see like someone tries to like that whole classic scene, like someone's looking at something, and then the music goes quiet, and then someone touches someone else's soldier, like like instead of saying absolutely nothing, they just grab him on the shoulder, like, hey,
hey,
you gotta go.
I'm still here.
Right.
Well, you bitch.
I would have punched your ass out.
Like, you know what we are? You can get punched for that.
Yeah. So
I don't know. The first movie.
The underground, your underground facility. Your first movie, your underground facility. It drags the viewer along until these people get out and beat a liquor while Michelle Rodriguez tanks 5 zombie bites and never turns throughout the entire movie.
Takes 5, like 5.
She's just that good.
She's just that good.
She should have turned it she should just turned into a liquor herself. Might fucking well.
If anything, yeah. She should have mutated with the T virus because she got bit 5 times. Like,
yeah, like that would have been cool if they kept her. Like maybe she was special, and then like she came back or something like that.
Became like an anti-Alice.
Yeah, like anti-Alice.
Amelia was like, no.
I know.
She's younger. She's younger and prettier. No, she's younger and prettier than me. I don't want her in here.
No,
which, spoiler alert, pay attention to these movies because anybody who comes in these movies more attractive because they're dying.
They're out, or they come back even like they don't even have a better world. They have a less world than they did before, or something like that. Okay, like that's a good segue to Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse.
my first favorite of the bad movies.
Yes,
like I loved Resident Evil. Okay, I'll go first here. I liked Resident Evil Apocalypse. I thought that it was the right type of they've clearly abandoned any hope of doing this
games.
Game anything. Like, we ain't seen no mansions yet, but we did get Jill Valentine, and I thought she was fucking amazing in this movie. I thought
she was.
Nemesis was amazing in this movie. I just, for me, like the soundtrack alone is somebody was trying to make a legit attempt here at some campy B movie like that was on the big screen shit here. Like they have thrown all caution to the wind.
Oh, I forgot to say.
Am I still here?
Oh, you're still here. You can.
Okay, cool. They have thrown all caution to the wind at this point, and they are just trying to give us complete service of whatever the fuck they felt like making. And I was here for it. Like, I like the cast this time around. I like the cast a lot. So, what did you guys think?
I have to say, I forgot to say this about Resident Evil 1, but go again with 2. I don't think more so any of the other films besides like maybe 4 and maybe a little bit of 5, but I really like the soundtrack of these films. Like it's like Resident Evil 1 was it wanted to be a horror movie. It had that really eerie soundtrack, which was cool, but it didn't fit what was going on though, with all the action, the kicking, the shooting, and all that shit.
Like Resident Evil 2 was a little bit better in my mind. Like I said, it was my favorite of the first bad movies to come. Like we're not quite a franchise yet, but oh shit, they're doing this thing where the B is amped up. All right, it's campy, but it's still leaning heavy into action. You have like the ominous evil Umbrella Corp, which clearly they don't understand to a degree. But
they don't understand
they're
what
just
Umbrella does.
And I think in this movie, if I'm not incorrect, it was like the virus was contained to the city.
Yeah, like
almost.
It can't. Like the virus got out. Like when they went to the hive and brought Ellis and what's his face from the hive out, they decided to go back in and open it, and then all the zombies supposedly got out. That's what happened like at the end of Resident Evil 1. Like they got out and they spread to Raccoon City. And luckily, apparently Umbrella knew this was going to happen, so they decided to make a wall throughout around the entire city.
Make a wall
overnight. Yeah.
Yeah, overnight. By the way, no, but hey, can you guys stop taking this highway, please? We're building a wall here. Okay, we'll go around
here.
And then like, oh yeah, they fundamentally did not understand how the T virus worked. In the first movie, it seemed like they did, but in the second movie, like they went back to having no fucking idea because somebody thought it would be a good idea to have it. Well, not only does it reanimate the dead, the recently dead, but it also reanimates the dead like for way longer. Like you had people coming out of the ground. Like that's not how this shit works.
I keep forgetting about that scene. How they went to the graveyard and they fucking. First of all, apparently this grave only like makes shallow graves. Like everyone's dug like maybe a foot under the ground.
I mean, they Kill Bill'd it, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Fucking like, it's ridiculous. Like how like they just come back. Yeah, the T-virus does not bring people back. It's not in the air. How did the zombies in the graveyard come back?
Well, not yet, Chris. Spoiler alert, not yet. It doesn't travel through the air yet.
Don't even. Oh my god.
Yeah. You got that coming up. But I think
this was the movie. This was the movie where things started to get out of hand because this is where Alice. This is where Alice started developing powers and wasn't really explained by anybody. She just jumped 5 stories and she can box with Nemesis.
Yep. And get hit by him, be perfectly fine.
First off, Nemesis was a bitch anyway.
Hey, don't be like that. He's sad, okay?
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, he's sad.
Yeah, because that's what all these Resident Evil fanboys wanted to see. They wanted to see Nemesis cry.
Yep,
exactly.
Just like Godzilla cried in that one movie. Remember that movie?
Oh,
remember that?
No,
movie
actually, I don't.
Cried. Yeah.
My subconscious.
Everything was out the window was Godzuki. Everything was out the window with Godzuki, so it's okay.
It's okay.
Conscious protected me from that.
Oh, whatever. You just went to sleep, probably. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like this movie took whatever it was doing in the second one and just tried to amp it up by 2, like just 2, because the other ones just keep times again. They keep going up, and I would give them credit for putting a little bit more reference material in the movie. Like I felt more like this.
I mean, you had Stars Agents, you had Nemesis, you had a couple of things, and I like this movie had a couple of my favorite scenes in it, like a lot of my favorite scenes are in this movie. The best quote of the franchise so far is came from Nikolai Genovis when he got hit with the dogs. He goes like, "Hey, go! I've got this bitch." And then the other dog shows up and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he got devoured. The best quote of the entire film. That pretty much sums up the franchise for me.
He literally lasted. He came in the room, killed the dog, announced himself
like a badass, by the way.
Yeah, like a badass. Like, okay, they're setting
up
this
some
character.
Wacky dog punch.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to just see him just run about with Carlos and Jill and everything. That was like, okay, this is legit. And then he comes up, and then he literally just dies.
He could have been the movie's big bad or whatever, but
he could have been a traitor or something like that. That would have been cool. Then instead of Wheels over here and his daughter and Alice. Oof.
And this dude had his eyebrow up every single chance he had. It never came down.
Also, I'm
surprised
that they got that guy. That guy is another surprise to me.
Because he's a legit
actor.
Shit. I think.
Yeah, he's so wow.
He probably needed to get some money to pay off his summer home, so he decided to be in the Resident Evil franchise for a second.
It's like, whatever, I'll do it. That's probably why his nose is turned up and his eyebrow raised all the time.
And that's probably why his glasses were impractical as hell. Like they were tiny, and that was at the edge of his mouth. Like, no one, those aren't glasses. You can't read those. They don't work. I have
Well,
glasses.
Chris, to be fair, do you work at Umbrella? So shut up.
What does that mean? Well, sure, okay, yeah, I'm sorry I don't work for an evil corporation that apparently has its own military and everything on American soil.
Hey, they're not evil, okay? They're
evil.
They're not good.
They're not. They're bad. They're just
you know. And like I said, like 2 for me it was definitely like the first of the favorites for this, and I just enjoyed what they were doing, like their soundtrack. I thought thought the movie had a certain style to it that was more likened to Resident Evil 5, like where it's just not about the survival from the zombies. It's more like let's just have cool set pieces in it. Like it's like that. And I did enjoy their set pieces when they had them. Like
this, I feel like this movie, and it's a big part what I'm going to say, but this movie would have been, I feel like, so much better if you literally took Alice out and that whole element of her being controlled and her being a weapon and everything. Just take her out of the film and just leave Jill, Carlos, and Nikolai and everything. It would. I feel like this movie would have been so much better with that. With just those elements.
Yeah. Or like. Oh yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, basically it was those 3, and then maybe his daughter. And if you want to keep the daughter subplot, sure, whatever. But just those 3,
they gotta have somewhere to go.
And then, like, just like in the games, if I remember, like Nikolai betrays them for Umbrella to try to get out of Resident Evil or something. Get out of Raccoon City. And keep the Nemesis part, and make them do more. It would have been really cool. It would have been an awesome movie. Honestly.
Right, like, as opposed to saying that they were made to fight each other. Like, that's what the fuck is that?
They're trying to use the zombie outbreak as a way to have a testing ground for these 2 potential weapons, maybe. Like, dude, there's a fucking outbreak going on. This is the weapon happening right now. Why are you worried about testing weapons?
Exactly. Yeah. Not only that, but like, I mean, you guys have underground facilities. Why couldn't you make them just fight down there? Like, why the fuck do you have to do it up here in the midst of
plenty of underground?
They really do. They do all over the world. They just sit there, and somehow there's like millions of people who just work there and live there and are part of their army, who just don't give a fuck, who will still work even after the world's fucking.
Maybe they're all clones. Maybe they're all clones.
That would have been cool. Whoa, Clarence, that's thinking outside the box. I don't think that's. You need to chill out. Okay, we don't do that here.
Yeah, easy, dude.
Easy. Yeah, like.
Well, honestly, slow down there.
Whoa there. But like, it's just bad to say. I feel like I really like 2, just like, and I feel like maybe it's a common pattern as we continue to review these films. But I think if Alice wasn't there, maybe the film would have been way better. It'd actually be passable. Actually be like like a really entertaining film, and maybe a somewhat good Resident Evil film.
Yeah, because if you didn't have like an easy answer for someone who could do everything and beat everybody, like maybe you would have had to think a little bit to wrap this up with just normal people, and that may have produced a
better story.
But then,
better characters.
But then they would have to pay real actors
to actually act, and actually the writers to make actual good writing decisions and shit.
Yeah.
But speaking of.
The 3rd movie.
Oh yeah. Segue.
This was Mike X's debut. The second movie was Mike X's. Yeah, on to the second one.
Oh my god! This is his debut after Friday.
I think that's the very next movie he was in after Friday. What?
Probably.
Okay. Keep going.
No, like Resident Evil, Extinction.
Oh, literally.
This movie is not the dumb fun ones. This movie is bad, and I feel like this movie was done on a low budget.
Nah, how bad things can get.
Yeah, how bad things can be, how bad things can get. Because honestly, it's between like 3 and 6. I hate these movies. I can't have fun with them. I do not like them whatsoever.
Are you sure?
I have nothing good to say about this movie.
Yes. What you were to say, Clarence? Did you find it out?
Yes, this is okay. So he made his that was Resident Evil Apocalypse or
Extinction.
no, the second one was Apocalypse.
Yeah, the second one was Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, he did show up in Apocalypse.
So that came out in 2004. Prior to that, How High, All About the Benjamin, and the Friday After, which all came out with.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, so he did such movies as Next Friday, Friday After Next, How High, All About the Benjamin.
We know this, Clarence.
Yeah. So this wasn't his follow up. This is like his fourth movie. So yeah, we're okay. We're okay. His fourth or fifth movie.
Yeah, which good on him. He just they needed some comic relief, I guess, and he was the man for the job, and he won that check. So good for him. But that check stopped in this movie because he died, and good, get him out of here.
I mean, yeah.
Nope. We got to get these movies out of here. But yeah, we're on the third one.
Yes. The movie, the worst part of this, and by best I mean like it's the worst part of this film. If what it took a beginning of a franchise that has been really rocky so far, but it still has the potential to be okay. You know what I mean? To just be an okay franchise. No, I'm saying I'm just saying so far 1 and 2 was going in the direction where it could just been okay. But then Extinction decides to put the wonderful element of destroying the entire world.
Oh yes, everything's a desolate waste. It's the end.
Yeah, yes,
and literally, like, what's the best place you can do in a fucking Extinction event movie? How about Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada? That's famous for having lots of people there. Let's do it there. Like, are you serious? Like, no good choices were made in this movie. Like, the world, it was desolate now.
Yeah,
like
the T virus had gotten into the air. It spread from. Apparently, the explosion didn't do anything. And
apparently nothing. Not at all.
Not a thing. It just kept.
It became airborne. It infected plant life. It infected animal life.
The series is basically over at this point. I don't know what they're doing because everyone is dead, and they just really want a post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse, which is dumb. Like, at this point, like, this is not what Resident Evil's about. The world isn't fucking desolate and destroyed. It's just the world is still just the world. So why are you destroying everything?
The best part, Alice's powers have fully manifested by the start of this movie. Because at the end of the movie, we learned that she was a psychic, that she could make people's heads melt by looking at them through security cameras for no reason.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that guy did not deserve that.
He did nothing wrong. He was just doing his job. He literally glanced at the cameras like, "Oh shit, there's Alice." But then for some reason, it multiplied on the screens, and she killed him for no reason.
And everybody else should just beat their ass.
Okay, honestly, like, it was dumb, but I kind of liked the fact there was some sort of hint. Like, basically, she had successfully became their weapon because remember he let her go, so maybe she could have just been a plant the whole time and everything until they, decide to like activate her and she kills everybody. It was there is an interesting plot there basically, but then they threw that away. They threw all that away.
Yep, in the trash.
Everything. In the trash.
He saw Mad Max and said, "You know what I want? I want to make a desert movie where everyone's just ragtag, and I want to do that now." And that's what this franchise is going to become.
This is the start. You're right. This is the start of him basically looking at different movies and saying, "I want to do that. Let's do that."
Yeah.
Like he saw Mad Max. He saw them driving down constantly on roads and everything. Like, hey, I want to do that. So we're gonna have to destroy the world in the franchise. So let's do that. And now it's a desert paradise. Yay!
Hey, Mila, you're gonna carry blades now. Alice is gonna carry two, but don't zombies need to be shot in the head? No, it's gonna be cool. You're gonna cut their throat.
No, just like him in his stomach would be all right. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of
it. It's funny. Fun fact: she designed her outfit in that film.
And all of them, or just the first and third one?
from what I saw from the facts, it's just that one, just the third one. So we okay. For all of us, you don't know, but while we're watching this, we basically came to the conclusion that basically her husband just gives her outfits when they wake up in the morning. He's like, "You're gonna wear this."
It says, "This is what we're filming in today. You wearing this?
Does he wear this? But I don't want to just do it because she literally
She's
just
like, yeah,
her
okay.
outfits just get worse and worse throughout the film franchise. They're just no good.
I could tell she made this one because it's so much more, where the other ones were like so much less.
Yes, there was like constantly like, and I'm sure he came after the film was done. He was like, "Okay, we're not doing that no more." Like, what do you mean? Can I design my clothes from now? Like, no. You don't know how
He's
to
like,
design
let me
clothes.
tell you something. If this movie sucks, you ain't never picking your outfits again. All right, whatever.
Well,
yep.
We don't know exactly how that went because all movies are bad.
But this one like has a taste of like just worse. Like the cast here was like probably like the lowest.
Yeah.
What? You completely forgettable. Like without the people who came in from 2 and didn't die, like there is nobody in this movie that just stands out to me. Not a single person. Not the cast. No, like nobody. Like even Alice falls in the background, but to who? Like I can't remember who she fell in the background to. Like everybody in this movie just sucked. Like the bad guy sucked with his stupid fucking. Oh, by the way, this movie is the first entry of that we meet Wesker in the franchise, who will be played by another person later.
Like he's there. That's all that matters. He showed up.
That was at the end. This is like as we go through these movies, like these next 2 movies, they almost run together. It feels like you're watching the same movie, or maybe this one movie was just very, very long.
I think this movie just felt long.
No. Wesker was in 3 for a while. Like he was. They were having little under
conference calls
when we decided. Yeah, we were doing little conference
calls.
And at this point in the movie, I'm sitting here wondering, and I wonder if the Umbrella people are wondering themselves. But don't worry, they elaborate later. They give a great reason later in final chapter, I guess. But it's like at this point, why are we doing this? Like, how are we still making money? And even if we are, why does it matter? Like, what can you spend it on? There's nothing out there.
Yeah, you killed the world. So what's this purpose for?
Exactly.
Why are we meeting down here in suits and ties like the world is still spinning like normal at this point?
Why are we still cloning Alice constantly? Why are we doing that and killing her?
Why not?
Why? What's the point of kill? They've made a trench full of Alices that are dead. Why? And none of that knowledge came to it didn't lead to anything. Nothing. Like,
I guess that was their way of saying, oh, well, this clone is special because we can't recreate her because he's all these.
True. It's just like, what? Like, this is such a waste of resources. It's just counterintuitive to what the world is now. Like you said, Jamal. Like they act like nothing's wrong. Like nothing's happened, and they just continue on like business as usual. But there's no reason
for a lot.
Yeah.
Like not good things.
Now, is this the movie that ends with them going back to the exact same mansion that was in the first one, and we had our little fight out?
Not yet.
That was the fourth one?
No, that was
because the fourth one was the retcon after.
No. The fourth one is more. Yeah, they did actually retcon in the fourth one, but we'll get there. No, this doesn't end with that. Like this is like
you're talking about. They kind of recreated the mansion in the facility in the desert, but they don't go back to the original one. They go back to the.
No, I'm saying like as the viewing experience, we just go right back to where we.
Yeah, basically, because they bring back the laser room again, or at least
another
this
dog
is the first
scene
time.
again.
Again, this is another. It's just they try. I give them props. It's like poetry. It rhymes. They keep bringing back the same shit. Like, oh yeah, I remember that. So the audience will be like, hey, remember the laser room? Yeah, man, things are gonna be crazy. I guess
crazy good
when you're watching there's always a moment where the movie shows its hand. Like, if you expected anything else at this point in time, you're kidding yourself. That
Please,
happened.
Clarence, elaborate.
Yeah.
I would say with this movie, this was the movie where she had set that entire flock of birds on fire, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that-
I fell asleep during that.
So once that happened, the movie revealed its hand, and if you expected anything Resident Evil-esque to come after this, you were kidding yourself because this bitch has superpowers.
She does.
Legit.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Nobody else has superpowers.
No. Don't get. Wesker has powers, and 5, but
Yeah, but not telekinesis.
he can teleport.
I'm sorry, he didn't have pyrokinesis.
That's different. So Wesker is enhanced. He doesn't have powers.
He has powers.
No, he doesn't.
What do you mean by powers? Like mental powers or physical?
Like
unheard of strength and mobility and the ability to basically flash step.
To be a better human being, a better, faster, stronger human being is what comic book lore refers to as enhanced. Powers is where you can literally manifest things outside of your being, like fire or telekinesis or make the ground move. Like he doesn't. That's not really like. I mean, it's technically you're still a superhero, but you're not Superman. You're just enhanced. There's like that's the difference. That's a distinction between that. So Wesker is like an enhanced. Alice it started out as an enhanced human being, and Wesker is an enhanced human being. I wouldn't really say what he has powers. The big bad in Resident Evil 3. What's his name this time?
William Brecken.
William Brecken had powers, and Alice had powers towards the end of this movie, which we all found out. Which
that's not what he had whatsoever, but whatever.
Not even his name, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. It's just that.
I mean, but it showed its hand, and you shouldn't expect anything above certain expectations after it showed its hand, especially when it showed this guy transformed. Like you guys showed me what he was in games, how he had, the big arm and the big eyeball on it. Like all they had to do was have an eyeball, and you knew who it was.
Yeah.
But they didn't even do that.
Nope.
Nope.
They gave him
at this point
the weird arm. Yeah, like I don't know. They went out their way to make Nemesis look like Nemesis.
Their ugly arm with sausages.
Yeah, with weird sausages. Like that's not even what William Brecken's thing does or did or whatever. It's stupid. He was just so watered down, but they gave him the same abilities as Alice and shit. I'm like, okay, like they're having a weird standoff. And I you know what? I wouldn't even say. I don't even think he had the same abilities as that. I think he just was able to yell loud, like make some sort of sonic yell roar that made a wave throughout the thing. Even though it looked exactly like what Alice is doing, I think it was even less.
You see that? You see you trying to justify what it is? You shouldn't have to do that.
I shouldn't, but that's justify what? Well, the fact that what? What am I justifying?
He clearly had powers. He clearly had these psychic powers, and you're trying to justify it as him screaming. Yes, it was it was a cue or whatever. It's better than Alice just nodding her head, but still, it's the same.
It's like I say that's because of what Alice can do, or what she's shown to do, what he did. He didn't stop any projectiles coming at him. All he did was scream that one time, and it looked kind of like what Alice did to him.
So he didn't need to stop projectiles. Bullets don't hurt him.
Bullets, apparently something lasers do. I know he didn't need to really stop him, but he could. If he had the ability, why not use it? And they're just like, okay, I'm this lazy. I'm not gonna, use it. Why not?
Because the movie's not about him. Like I said, it showed its hand. These movies are not that deep.
And of course, we know that. We knew that since the first one. It's just that we know it's definitely not going any sort of direction towards Resident Evil anything. But we'll still have the characters show up every so often. Because why not?
You know what direction we're about to go? We're about to go to the fourth movie.
We're about to go to the Afterlife.
Yeah,
after the movie's dead, it comes back.
So we are making our transition into Afterlife.
Yes.
Let me tell you guys, Afterlife is probably the second the second movie that I enjoy. We're back on top when it comes to the camp, and when it comes to the decent, like, and I mean decent soundtrack. Like when it comes back, we're back on track because we've done away with this boring, forgettable cast. And we have injected some spice into the movie. The movie literally opens ripping off everything that you love about The Matrix.
Yes,
like, he's like, you know what?
Let's not forget she had a clone army that she got from the end of the last movie.
Yes, this opens with a cool ass, like this opens with like probably a really cool ass, like, you know, invasion of an umbrella facility in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Another underground one.
Another one. When we first start when we start to learn that it's not so much as this is a unique facility, it's that it's actually not unique at all. There's millions of these. Another
all
one.
over the world.
And another one. So
where are they conducting the experiments? Somewhere underground. It doesn't.
They have the space.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They have the money, they have the time, they have the space. How they make all this money, I don't know. But regardless, like, we open with this cool ass like sequence of her going after the Tokyo facility where Wesker is currently, you know, taking place. Wesker appears again, his second appearance, where he is played by a different person.
A thicker person. He thick.
A thicker man. He thick. He got the muscles.
He's not there yet.
I mean, like he's fit at best. He's fit at best. There you go.
He can't raise his arms, man. He literally just.
I mean, that leather jacket was
so tight,
fucking tested. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that jacket was tested. Homeboy was he's certainly up there. But the point is that the movie opens with this awesome sequence, and it's like scored by Tom and Dandy. Like their soundtrack for this movie is actually pretty dope. And but I would be remiss if I didn't mention
you guys here and listen to the soundtracks. I was dumb watching it. I couldn't even pay attention to the sound.
I mean, the fact that I've have some experience with these movies beforehand allows me to like take a better look. And yeah, I've always been a soundtrack guy, and this is no different. Even if the movie is bad, the soundtrack can be awesome. Case in point, X-Men.
Which one?
Through Last Stand. Oh. Last Stand had an amazing soundtrack, but it sucked. So John Powell put his ankles in the soundtrack for Last Stand, but it just was not a good movie. So, you know, it was wasted. Or, you know, Rise of Skywalker soundtracks. It's still a great soundtrack.
I mean,
just not a good movie. So yeah, but the point is, yeah, the opening sequence is dope. It just rips off the Matrix, though. It has a lot. Paul Wes Anderson said, "You know what? I really like the Matrix trilogy so far. I think I want to do that now." And really at this point in the movie,
I really like that scene in the bank when they're shooting up all those square cylinder,
and watching the rebel just get destroyed.
Yeah,
as they're running by it. It's so, and doing it in semi-slow motion. It's very cool. Also, I like the Matrix 2 where Trinity jumps out the window and like shoots at people. And I'm gonna do that later too. Like he really, really, really at this. And by the way, at this point in the movie, I'll just mark where the timeline is. At this point in the movie, we have completely abandoned the whole Earth being destroyed thing, and all of a sudden, everything's just kind of back to normal. Like grass is growing, the water is abundant in Antarctica where they're going. In this movie, she's beautiful scenery. Like the polar ice caps still exist, by the way. Some great green scenery. Like in this movie, she's after her attempt to kill Wesker in Tokyo fails. Wait, you know what? Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Oh yeah, right? Another twist.
Another twist in the movie.
Film. Yeah.
We also decide that in the tussle with Wesker on a plane after she tries to kill him, after this beautiful Akira rip sequence of the Tokyo facility being nuked, and killing all the clones, because that's a stupid idea. We don't want to do that anymore. So we've abandoned the clones.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, well now I don't want Alice to have powers. That's stupid too. Let's get rid of that. And then they decide, all right, well, after this tussle, Wesker injects her with a some kind of T virus killing cure.
Yeah, he
Where
cured
we also learn that the T virus is actually shaped like
a T.
Like,
It's a T virus.
How far can you go? Like,
Out your
guys,
way
we're doing too much. This is probably why you didn't have this shit out curing diseases, because you had to make sure the scientists made sure the pathogens lined up so that they look like T's. Like, it's not right yet.
So we want the filmmakers or the writers or whoever on this knew the writer knew that, okay, her having
Single
powers
mad
and
vision.
her he realized that her having psychic powers, her having a clone army was way too much. So they decided to just kill all the clones. I guess they're all dead, even though there's like 100 of them apparently or more that was in that facility.
And there's more facilities.
And there more. So why wouldn't there be more Alice? But whatever. And then instead of Alice, Alice somehow gets on Wesker's plane while it was going away. Somehow she decides to just sneak up on him, right? Not use any of her psychic abilities that she supposedly has.
Yeah, to just melt his brain.
Walk up to him,
and then like put a gun to his head and like do some weird like cheesy line like I'm gonna kill you or some shit like that. Why didn't you just kill him? He's evil. Just do it. Why you need to have a conversation with him? And then
immediately after that happens, she survives a plane crash.
Yeah, first Wesker cures her, like, congratulations, you're cured. And then she decides to shoot or do something to the controls that break them, and then the plane crashes. A crash that there is no way in hell anybody could have walked away from.
Not at all. Like, they both were dead. Especially her. She has no powers.
Especially Alice.
She got up, walked away with some scratches at most.
Yes. They even made sure to, one, show how fast they were going down. They even made sure to pause, freeze frame, and see how, one, they're both going straight out of the front window into rocks. So
into a mountainside.
They're dead. No one was locked into any seat or anything. Allison
clearly they showed us that with that 3D with that nice 3D surround camera thing they had going on. Like, they were going full speed. There's no way they survived. Should have.
Yeah, but then she just walked away and enters, and then we enter our new setting, which apparently 3 never happened or something. Resident Evil 3 never happened with
clearly
the killing of the world. Even though they clearly say in the beginning of 3 that the world became a desert because everything was dried up and terrible.
Yeah, the whole world. Yeah. They even showed us the entire world.
Yes,
and how there's no water too. The T virus is thirsty for water.
They paid $30 for that little, display of how the world gets old. Yeah.
But yeah, now Alice is whispering into her journal entry camera.
Which is something she decided to start doing now. Like, hey, Paul, I think would be great for the film franchise if I had like a video diary, like I could really show off my acting chops by talking to the people. He's like, sure, whatever.
It's funny because as you say that, it feels like that because her diaries or whatever don't contribute at all to the film whatsoever.
My name is Alice.
Just so she can say that over and over again.
Yep.
Like it could have been taken out and probably saved us a lot more time. But no, we have to do these little fucking entries on where she's going and what's happening. She has no one else to bounce off of. So maybe, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're there, because she literally has no one else to talk to. But yeah. Then enters Claire again. And
Claire.
Yeah. She was in 3.
When Claire comes back, she has this whole like mysterious, I don't know who I am kind of thing going on, and I could not care less. Claire is one of the forgettables. Claire's one of the forgettables from 3, and I wish she had just stayed that way, because when she shows up, I have nothing for her. I have nothing for Claire. I don't care if she gets her memory back. I just want her to go away. Claire sucks.
I actually like Claire.
This is the movie. Oh, ouch. feel that way. Isn't this the movie that they go to the prison?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, my man, that was dunking on everybody.
Yeah.
Dunk. Yes. Yeah. Fucking. He in.
Like, what was the point of that?
I don't know.
I used to play basketball.
He
fucking
jumps and he catches. He dunks on an airplane and single-handedly pulls it up on top of a building, almost single-handed.
Mm-hmm. He's immensely strong. He's like Chris from Resident Evil 5 strong. But
speaking of Chris,
Chris Redfield is in that movie as well. And this is what I noticed about that whenever he started talking, I noticed it throughout the other movies. People who were trying to act, but they started doing the whole raspy, tough guy commando voice, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
It didn't work out.
You know, all 170 pounds of these people are not intimidating.
No,
not at all.
Nah.
Because nothing says Chris Redfield like dark and mysterious.
I don't know. He was only Chris Redfield by name because I don't know who the person was. Because they had him locked up for some reason because they thought he was bad for some reason.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to meet him, he doesn't help his case because he does seem really sketchy for some reason. Like he's being extra hard. He's acting extra hard to be creepy for some reason.
Exactly. Like, who are you?
This movie also introduces us to the parasites because now, until we figured it out the hard way, they were burrowing through the ground, and they're not zombies anymore. They're the parasites from Resident Evil 4.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how they get through everything.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because that's just not how... Because every zombie had that at one point, or it feels like it. Like, because out of nowhere, the zombies will come, and then, oh, right, this one has it, but none of the other ones do. You know, the whole little weird parasite mouse thing. And it's just so weird, and it comes out of nowhere, and they barely even touch on it. The zombies just have it now, for some reason. Yeah. And then, what? They stay at the prison for a little bit, and then they go to the fucking huge ass boat where guess who's back?
No, before that, we didn't we fight Mr. Hammer McGee, who could take all the headshots in the world, but then you shoot quarters at him, and it's enough.
Oh yeah,
his head completely.
Alice, we discover one thing about Alice. We learn absolutely one thing in this whole franchise. She likes quarters. She likes collecting coins.
Yeah, a little bit. Aside from filming herself, she really likes to collect quarters.
Yeah, like,
for fun.
Yeah, for fun. It's a hobby. Like, what? You do that for a hobby? She was on her own for like a year and a half, and then that's what she learned to do. She like, I got a hobby now. I'm different.
Yeah.
Look at that. A hobby.
I am human.
We learned that she has such pitch perfect aim that she can shoot a sawed-off shotgun filled with quarters right at one of her comrades and miss.
Yep. She also can shoot this, sawed-off shotgun that's supposed to be a spray and make a zombie heads explode from 20 feet away.
Guys, to be fair, have you ever shot a sawed-off shotgun with quarters? All right, I hear it's really accurate. I hear it's more accurate than slugs.
I think you're right. I read a Google article about that.
Oh, really?
Gun experts say it's possible. All right.
Gun experts? What gun experts? Name one.
8 out of 10.
Name one.
8 out of 10 of them. 8 out of 10 of them.
It's
just like the Phantom Dentist and the Phantom Doctors. The 8 out of 10 of them. I don't know who they are, but I trust them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
this was also the movie that she was overkilled with weapons. Like she had 2 revolver Magnum,
and a
2
katana,
sawed-off shotguns, and a katana.
Yep. And they kept giving her more weapons. She'll have more weapons on her back.
Every 5 minutes, somebody is throwing her a weapon. Like, she has 2 of them. She showed up with 2.
Exactly. Like Claire doesn't have a pistol. She gives her the SMG. Like Claire, you need that, or give it to any of the other characters who are probably going to die without a weapon, a better weapon.
Also, I feel like it's important to bring up this scene of where they're fighting this Mr. X with the in the shower, in the shower room area, which is got to be probably the dumbest most like I don't know, lifeless. Like you could tell they were trying to be super fucking cool, but like after they were done like ripping the Matrix in the first couple of minutes, like they kind of blew their load with where my creative stuff is coming from, and he just had to make up something on his own. And I don't know if you know this, but like, well, at least in my opinion, I could be wrong, but like wet women who are just drenched in water and super wet, like that's not hot anymore. It's just hella practically hard to move. It's so in this sequence, he had to take the time to get both Ali Larter and Mila Jovovich wet while they were fighting this character. And Ali Larter does this off the wall flip where she just looks up like, I'm so cool. I just flipped off the wall. Look how awesome I am.
That leg lunge and everything, like as she lands, like yes.
Yeah, like what was the point of that? Like she didn't do anything. She just flipped. She just avoided the monster. Like that's yeah. Go on.
This is the same film which somehow the same X-Men that we're talking about minutes before snuck up on them in a shower room and killed one of their members.
How did you get up there?
Half-ton, 10-foot tall creature sneaks up on all of you.
Yep.
Like how?
Was able to have enough time to lift his axe and swing and get point blank accuracy to kill the Asian guy.
Right.
I don't know if I could do.
Like literally sliced him up the middle. Sesame seed roll. Done.
Oh fuck.
And then like I don't understand like how that axe is literally bigger than half the people in that room standing up. But like how did he swing it and only go for that guy when he could have just done it sideways and got everybody, right?
Please the whole
They would have all been dead. There would be no way for them to dodge or anything. But no, it's he hated that one guy specifically. He was like, I just came here to kill him. All right, I'm gonna leave now. Like, Clara, get out my way. Okay, I guess I'll kill you too.
Yeah, I guess I'll just kill this one. And then like killing this thing with like fucking 5 feet away with loose change. With loose change.
I told you, like she had to been at least either 10 to 20 feet away on the other end of the room, and then shot it and was able to just blow up his head completely.
Shot it after Ali Larter and Alice stood behind each other, covered in water, looking so hot. like, oh my god, can we get out of here?
Paul W.S. Anderson just fucking fapping in front of the, behind the camera, like, yes, this is so good. That's all
he's
I
like,
want.
I you know what? I could totally see it in his head where he's like, after that day of shooting, he probably sat down with both of them, like, hey, so, how do you feel if we, asked Allie to come over for dinner tonight? No, Paul.
It's been a long day.
No.
Just keep your outfits on. Just go talk.
Let's just go talk. Like let's the three of us. All right, can do a lot. Like talking.
Paul. No, we can't. Like no. Who?
I just want to talk.
I just want to talk. I just want to talk to her. Okay.
I just want to talk to her. I just want you guys to kiss. There.
Yeah, I just want to kiss. Just do it. Just practice.
I just want you guys to kiss.
Just I have a new part. I've added a new scene in the script, and I think I need you guys to kiss right now. Just to...
God, but later on, okay. So much later on in the movie, when they travel to Arcadia with Chris Redfield, who apparently, if they had just listened to him, because now maybe maybe it's just his fault because he's super fucking shady, but if he had been less shady and they had just talked to him, because they had been in this prison for months until Alice showed up, I'm going to assume the full 6. Okay. If they had just talked to him, they would have already been out of there. Like they would have already escaped, because Chris is the only one who knew where to go. He knew where their weapons were buried, and they all got out just like that. Like little to no problem.
It was like a prison break.
Because they found him in a prison.
Yeah.
And that's when Prison Break was hot. So they had to be at least on season 3. So, of course, he had time.
That is literally the only reason why he was there, honestly.
I'm 100% sure of that.
He looks nothing. his costume had nothing to do with Chris at all.
Wasn't Leon in that movie too?
No, Leon comes to the next one.
God, Clarence, the next one.
They all mesh together.
No, they don't. They are all distinct and different, and they all stand out from each other.
They're all bad for different reasons. Okay?
They're like in tones of worse. They all stand out individually alone. Like, you're not gonna tell me. I'm never gonna confuse fucking Final Chapter with Retribution for reasons, but yeah. Let's go to the favorite part. After for some reason one of the cast has decided to turn heel on everybody and shoot one of the guys in the head for no reason, and then they follow him to this place that's been promoted in the film, Arcadia, which is a giant ship for Umbrella, where Umbrella is still bagging and tagging people for some reason, like, because this is just what we do. They trick people to come to this giant ship where, they promise there's no infection and all that other bullshit, and they get here only to find that they're trapping people in little, pods in the ground, where they find Wesker, who has survived his plane crash.
Ugh.
And quite easily, actually. And not only that, he explains that at this point, he himself is taking more injections of the T virus because the plane crash nearly killed him, and it was really hard on him. So, cue the fight, the crescendo of Afterlife, where they play their Tom and Danny cut Outer Circle song, and it's really dope. But what's happening is, I like it a lot, but what's happening is that they are butchering, like, literally, like, some of the best video game choreography I've ever seen in my life. Like, Capcom paid good money to have these things choreographed in a way where they just looked, even if what was happening is not technically possible, but they made it look super legit, and it was actually some really cool stuff. But this movie has said, no, we're not going to hire choreographers. We're just going to do it ourselves. And boy, were they wrong. That was a wrong call. Like, this... Yeah, go on.
It was just... I'm sorry, I interrupted. It's just like I had to put out, like, it's literally just a pushing contest. It's literally Wesker.
It's literally a pushing contest.
People. He's pushing them out the way constantly. It's like, okay, he had so many different opportunities to just rip them apart, but he decided to just push them out the way and punch them maybe a little bit here and there, but literally just push people.
I firmly believe they saw the exact parts that he did that in Resident Evil 5, and like, these aren't palm strikes. He's just pushing.
He's just pushing.
Yeah,
like,
he's just throwing
get
around.
over there. Get over there. No, you don't got me. Get over there. Like, kill them.
Something go down. I've never watched something go down in value as hard as I've seen the production at this point in the game. Like, in Resident Evil 2, Apocalypse, even 3, when they did slow motion bullets out of the chamber to wherever it's going, those bullets had detail. Like, and they even had their own slow motion travel. This movie, the bullets were literally pixelated, my guy. No bullet has detail. They were almost black. Like, the bullets were so just lazily edited in this movie. Like, I couldn't help but notice them when they go by Wesker with his lazy dodging. Like, they look so bad. Like, this is like those West African movies where they just edit those bullets.
Oh,
like,
not that bad. Don't do that.
Yes, they are. If you rewatch that clip, no, if you go back and rewatch that clip, no bullet has detail. It's like someone just literally edited there after the fact. That's how bad they are. It's really poorly done. That fight sequence is poorly done. And then, like, to kick it off for me, they have this thing where Alice kicks this glass in slow motion to kill this dog, and like the guitar riff just
horrible.
Man, this guitar riff was just, it went on. It felt like it went on forever. Like, this thing was like, yeah.
And like we said, another dog scene.
They can't. Only Dobermans. The same. I feel like they're the same dog.
Guys, those are the only dogs that exist. Duh.
If there's some guy like, yo, give him the dogs.
Give him the dog. Sick the dogs. It's just like I was just like at that moment I'm just laughing. Like it's one of the best parts of that film. Like it's bad, but it's such a campy, cheesy bad that I just love it. Like it's whatever. There's no.
And this
This
is
is
only
not
the
good. We're
fourth
no.
one.
Hmm?
This is only the fourth one.
Yeah, we're only on 4, guy. My guy. We still got 2 more. All right. So with that,
like, I think it's worth mentioning here as well. Like at the end of this amazing fight sequence, they had everybody's name, like they had everybody's pictures on the tubes. Like when they went underground, they took a little the interface took a little picture of them, and everyone's like literally there. This is supposed to be hundreds of people down here. Like, you know, Umbrella's so sick. Oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this. And then literally they take the display and scroll two. They just scroll up twice, 2 finger taps, and they find exactly who they're looking for. Even the people they weren't looking for.
Access. Let alone they have access.
They have access. They're not Umbrella agents, but they have access, and they find exactly who they're looking for within 2 seconds. Like, this is a large underground thing. And they found Kmart. Even Chris and Claire, when they got put under for like 2 seconds, had their photos. They're already documented. By the way, like after they supposedly killed Wesker, I don't know why it was important to have, like I felt like they decided in here like Chris and Claire Redfield were like a real problem. Wesker addressed them both by name. And then at the end of the fight sequence, it's like they give Wesker this coup de grace family like murder death scene, like they're just shooting them up. Which, fun fact, at this point in time, I saw this movie in theaters, and this is a moment where I literally got up and walked out of the theater. Like my eyes and my brain could take no more of what I was seeing, and I said, "I'm out of here."
I remember that. This man left.
I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. I don't know how the movie ended until after I saw it at home. I had no idea how this movie ended. But what I missed was, since we're segueing here into Retribution, what I missed was the setup for what is probably my 3rd favorite of the Resident Evil franchise, where we get Jill returns as a post-credit scene, like in her Resident Evil 5 outfit. What?
No, he said in her full Resident Evil 5, which
yes, full RE5 regalia.
Okay, all right. I guess we're going to Retribution.
So with that being said, yeah, we're turning on into Retribution. Which, by the way, if you guys have been following, these titles do not make any sense as far as continuity is concerned. They don't make any sense. Apocalypse,
Extinction, fucking Afterlife, and now Retribution. What were we What Retribution? For what?
And after Extinction and Apocalypse, there's nothing. Oh. Oh yes, Michelle Rodriguez.
This one is my favorite. So putrid, but they bring people back. Like they think they've hit the epitome of action.
Yes, they think their fan service has peaked in this movie. Like, would y'all love it if we brought back these characters?
Who are these characters? Who are they? I don't care.
Y'all remember Carlos? Y'all remember Michelle Rodriguez? And then they even try and attempt to throw in Barry for like, right? Isn't Barry in this movie?
Yeah, Barry's in this film. The black guy comes back from the last film. Fucking Leon's in this film. Ada Wong is in this film.
Yeah, Ada Wong was in there for like 20, 30.
Yeah. She was there. I mean, I'll give her props. They kept her in her outfit. Her and Leon look as close as they ever could have done.
The play right there.
Yeah, you know what's his face looks like he could be Dante from Devil May Cry.
Who, the guy who played Leon?
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, he could play Dante.
I mean, yeah. Hey, did Clarence go?
No, he's still here.
Okay.
I said that guy looks exactly like his current
Yeah, he
form.
does. Yeah, he does. But
let's talk about the amazing opening sequence where they just learned that you can shoot a scene in reverse. You can shoot a sequence in reverse.
Oh my god. There was no point to that scene so we can get the credits in? Why?
Her,
yeah.
What they said, hey, you're gonna come back, but they said do less. Because she did it, dude. She was like a stiff board. It's like, did they tell her that, hey, your character's a robot now, you have no personality whatsoever?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up your favorite part, man. The soundtrack in this was better.
Oh, of course. Of course. Oh god, Tom and Danny return to give us more life with their awesome Retribution soundtrack. My god, this movie had, like I said, this movie has got to be the third. This is the trilogy of the bad, good Resident Evil movies for me. It's totally different movies by the time we get halfway in, though. Like the first movie, we're kind of dealing with a you know, oh my god, we just freed all these people in the last movie, and Alice is going to fight a fleet of helicopters with shotguns somehow. Yeah,
by herself.
That doesn't work out, by the way. Everybody she's freed gets murdered, like, which is good that we didn't learn any of their names because they're all dead now. The ship gets blown up. Yeah, we go to a different part of the movie where I need you guys to take over because I did fall asleep, so I don't know how the movie transitions to the underground facility.
Oh, we stay there for damn near the entire film, and then we find out that apparently this facility is to test out the T virus for some reason to see how it would, you know, spread and kill people in fucking Moscow and in the United States, in the suburbs in the United States, China, Japan.
We get such important information that Alice wanted a child.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like she's like, I would like a kid, you know, and then she gets one. Did she survive, Clarence? Did she get out of there with him? I don't remember.
But isn't Kmart her child?
The movie?
No, Kmart's not her child. We don't. Kmart's gone. You don't have to mention Kmart ever again, Jamal. Okay.
But what about Chris and Claire Redfield?
They're gone.
But where did they go?
She mentions it one time, and then they're never mentioned ever again. We don't know. So supposedly dead, just like everyone else on that boat.
What a shame.
From the beginning.
Seemed really invested in their characters.
Did you know that if you mix up the word Corona, it's raccoon? You know, Raccoon City.
Excuse me?
That's serious? No, it's not.
No, I'm serious. Look, I posted a gift. If you mix up the words of Corona, you get raccoon. Like Raccoon City? Umbrella? Sorry. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. But
whatever, bro.
Shut up. Anyway, it's more interesting than what the movie was getting us, which was just.
Why did you throw that knife like that?
I don't know.
Like
that clip is way too long. Look at him. He looks at it, and then he
looks at it, and he just puts his whole shoulder into it, throws it. Like, why?
How dare you?
How dare you stab me? You really become quite an inconvenience for me. So dumb.
Oh my.
At least he looks the part.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, yeah. Like, until like, you know, later where he gets super fucking jacked. Like Wesker has all the muscles, dude.
You get so jacked you can put his.
Okay, but like, okay, yeah, we go through the movie. Fucking Alice is captured, I guess, and she then somehow escapes because there's a traitor amongst the ranks of Umbrella, or at least at the facility. She meets with Ada. Ada doesn't get to see her say her famous line, which makes me sad. I'm like, just let her say it. Whatever,
What's the
Alice.
famous line?
Project Alice.
No.
Project Alice.
Shut up.
Who do you work for?
Oh, you remember that, huh? Where am I?
Project Alice. Who do you work for? Like a fucking machine, dude.
The actress that was trying to play Jill, she wanted something. She thought she was, and she wasn't at all.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
The actress that wanted to play Jill, that was playing, she wanted to do something more. They just told her, look, you should probably like, no, I think I got it. I think I'll take it.
Look,
and that's,
I'll give her one thing, at least when it comes to Jill being like the fucking blonde Jill. From what I remember, and you play the game, did she had any personality when she's blonde Jill at all?
No,
didn't talk.
She hissed at people.
Oh, she hissed it. Okay, there you go. See,
like, I mean, she was just a machine to do like awesome kung fu stuff.
Wanted. Yeah, jumping with fucking two semi-automatic weapons. Fucking
yeah, her weapons were her body. She kicked ass. At least, yeah. I'll say this. I mean, whatever direction she had, like she acted the fuck out of it. She said, "This is the best I can do, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm not gonna do anything different.
Than this. Exactly.
I'm not gonna stray from anything. I'm just gonna do exactly what they have tasked me to do." And she did it, dude. Like, she acted like a fucking robot who was programmed to be as stiff as a board.
I believed her. I believe
exactly. I believe that. I question a lot of things about this movie, like where are they going with this franchise? What is happening? But one thing I didn't question was Jill is clearly a robot,
and apparently, her being a robot ruins her just like enunciation and acting ability. I don't know, well, not enunciation, just like so much awkward yelling. Remember, like when she came to the spot where Alice had disappeared from, or she left from. She's like, "Where's Alice? Find her!"
Yeah, I do remember that part.
I'm like, why? What? It's so bad. You didn't have to talk whatsoever. But yeah, this movie's a treat. This bad.
The grand finale at the top where everyone just beat up.
Oh yeah, it's the best part. Like, okay, after everything's happened, we're all on top of the ice because the facility was under an Arctic.
Hold on, guys. I do think it's worth mentioning as well that I did actually really enjoy the sequence underground where they were being chased by that giant liquor, and they were like
out liquor. Yeah.
Yep, going from city to city. I liked that sequence a lot. Like, I thought it was pretty fun. Like, I remember seeing that in theater. Sequence. I actually had a good time with that. Like, wow, okay, yeah. Like, I had a good time with that. It was kind of entertaining. I mean, we also find out that Star Power bitches Luther West did survive, I guess, and he's part of that group, but not for long.
Nope. Did he get punched in the chest by Michelle Rodriguez?
Michelle Rodriguez. He shows up in this movie, reprises her role as Rain as a bad guy now, and I was pretty pleased by that, because this time I thought they were just gonna kill her off like that, but no, she's in here.
She did get. I mean, yeah, because there's two versions of her in this movie. One was like a housewife, and the other one was the badass that we know. And that one dies. She gets her neck cracked. Oh wait,
but no. You couldn't kill her.
Shut up.
No, it was a Midwest mom. That was the one that split, and the other one was.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like that, the suburban mom was the one who dies, and what's her face? I guess is dead. She's just under the ice. I guess.
Barry at this point also dies at before we go topside. I liked how Barry died. It's kind
I
of
like
cool.
that wonderful sacrifice, and I just understand that fake out because like he should just be dead, but he threw his gun up. They shot him up.
Yes, that did happen. He got shot.
Yeah.
Didn't he get like shot in the forehead or something?
I don't think not in the forehead, but he got
That
shot
was the
up
second
a
time.
lot.
He got shot up a lot. Like his body full
it
of
was
holes.
a kill shot, and then he got back up. Just this guy.
And then shoot one random guy.
I mean, it was dope though. I mean, if I had to die, I would like it to be like that.
Yeah, he. Oh no, yeah, he shoots the black guy from the first one because he was bad.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Because he, lasers didn't get him this time, but a bullet did.
No, a bullet did. couldn't be faster than that bullet.
Nope. He could be faster than a lot of things, apparently.
Yeah, and just it was that part, those parts, and then like then we get to
the best part, the coup de grace, the fucking like crescendo of this awesome movie is where we get to outside the ice, where we have what Resident Evil 5 refers to as a 2-on-2. And we have Jill versus Alice, the showdown that nobody knew they wanted, I guess. And then Michelle Rodriguez versus everybody else.
Yep.
Everyone.
Boy, did she mop the floor with these niggas.
Everybody. kills your boy Luther somehow.
Man, he pops her in the head with a fire extinguisher, and you could tell she wasn't having it.
Nah. And she came back with the backhand to his chest, and then he was out. He was done. He's out the movie. Because no one just
done for good.
The way they did, I kind of thought like, are they gonna bring him back? Is he dead?
No, he's good. Dead. He's done. Like, no, we're done with that.
God damn it.
No,
and then
we don't need this black.
It is bad because you can fucking Alice in her plot armor. She literally does the exact same thing. Alice at this point is normal. She doesn't have any powers or anything.
Right, no powers whatsoever.
And then doesn't she get like hit twice?
She does the same heart rib cracking thing, and then she gets up again for a second hit, and then she gets kicked to like 10 feet away, and she gets back up. And then she shoots Michelle Rodriguez with a machine gun before delivering before Michelle Rodriguez gives us this great smile and delivers the best line in the movie. She goes, "You can't kill me.
You can't kill me. I'm not trying to.
You can't kill me." And then she
kill
me. Michelle Rodriguez is so hot, dude. I don't know what it is. Like, she's so fucking hot.
I just love her delivery. Just that line delivery just kills
I
me.
can tell she had a lot of fun. Yeah, she had a lot of fun playing this character this time around. I think she really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it as well. Except for that weird, when I get shot, the bullets come out through my finger holes.
Oh, I don't know why. Why the finger holes?
That looks painful and gross.
First of all, those bullets most likely went through her. I don't know why she has to spin them out. If they were inside of her, just make them push out the holes that they came through.
Right. Why are they going out through her fingers? Like, that just seems so strange. It's like they don't have any bones in her hands.
Would you have been happier if it came out of her fingers and he shot him like it was an episode, like a guy from the Mask?
Oh my god, that was Clarence. Cool. Again, thinking out the box, bro. You're doing.
Whoa there, yeah.
Slow it down. Slow down there.
We here at Umbrella don't got the box. We think about one thing, and that's money and time. And we don't have enough time for your money talk. All right, for your I want to do a different idea. Psh, that costs money, I'm sure.
Right.
No time.
So
okay, and speaking of no time, it's time
wrap it up
to get to the last one that I hate the most.
This has to be probably my least favorite Resident Evil ever made. Like, this is Final Chapter is the biggest mess, waste of time. Oh fuck, guys, I'm sorry. I do want to talk about this because this is also important. At the end of this movie, we meet Wesker again, who, surprise, surprise, isn't dead from the last movie.
Oh yeah,
and because he survived the plane nuke because his eyes blew
explosion
up
nuke
somehow. and he just got out of the plane fast enough, I suppose. Whatever. Listen, the movie says he did. So either way, not only does he get out of the movie with enough time, his eyes glow up. He leaves the airplane with enough time to not only not get like blown to smithereens, but also to find extra gym time, because the next time we see Wesker, this man is jacked. It's like they said, it's like he just didn't stop working out.
Exactly. Go back to the gym.
Why is he so buff in this movie? Like, you don't need like dude. It's like they were afraid to tell him, like, hey dude, stop juicing. We don't need Wesker to be this buff.
Wesker has never been this buff. He's enhanced. He doesn't need to be buff. That's the point. Like, he's a little buff, like a regular, like, good tone guy, but he's not a Monster House. He's not fucking
right.
Still Man and Steel fucking Superman, or fucking Ben Affleck Batman and Batman v Superman. Like, he doesn't need to be a wall.
This man is literally a brick fucking wall in leather. Like, there is no reason for him to be this swole doing anything. Like, it's like, I don't understand why. Like, homie, I'm gonna be real with you. It's like they told him, like, he's like, hey, so I'm about 6 months along in my process for my reprisal as Wesker. And they're like, hey, homeboy, I'm gonna tell you like it is. You're only gonna get like 2 minutes of screen time. There is no need for you to work out this much.
Exactly.
He gives Alice her powers back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He does. He meets her with
the president. Like, he's the president of the Earth now.
He's the president of the world now, and he gives
the Earth.
Alice.
You gotta say the Earth.
The Earth. Yeah. What's left of it? Yeah. So the president of the Earth, and then he gives Alice her powers back.
What we learned for the second time, if you didn't see it, the first time, the pathogens for the T virus look like T's.
Oh my god! So we saw this.
Capital T.
Capital T's. We see this happen in her. She gets the virus back. All right.
Yeah, we clearly see it happen. Clearly,
and she
lost it anyway. Like, she lost it anyway.
Yeah. Like, she regenerates. Like, that's how she survived, because she, like, we forgot to mention, but like at this point in the movie, she got shot somehow. She's been dying, right? And she also cracked. Her heart was stopping or something like that. She was dying. So the virus helped her regenerate, and she was fine. She had her powers back, or whatever. And then we opened it in fucking the last chapter, and one of the first things they mention, or make sure we know, is that she has no powers. What? And then, like, it's mentioned throughout the next part of the movie. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm sorry that Wesker gave you that fake virus, and he didn't really give you your powers back. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, he lied. Just kidding. Like, we lied. I'm like, are you serious?
What kind of Saturday morning cartoon stuff is that? Haha, I didn't give you your powers back. Come find me.
Yeah, like what? Like, we saw it happen. We saw the injection. We saw the T virus animation, which means that they're attaching to her bloodstream and making her whatever special again. And like, how can you fake that at this point? Like, how can you say, just kidding?
And he's the one that brought that information to the viewer that, well, the enemy is no longer the T virus. The enemy is now the supercomputer that we all saw in the first movie, because it turned on everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's now trying to destroy the world and everything. So it's like, we need you to be at this,
being taken over by zombies. And it's like, it looks like one of those cell phone app games where the zombie hordes take over and they have to make it more exciting for people. That's what... Mm-hmm. That's what the ending of Retribution looked like. It looked like like you're in the United States, you and your buff ass leather clad dude here are president of this world being ravaged by flying monsters, and the capital is a fucking fortress where humanity is making a last stand ish, kind of.
I don't know. It don't matter.
So, yeah.
That happens, and I knew, like, you can tell the movie's going to be bad, because guess what movie looks like? At the beginning of it, it looks exactly like fucking Resident Evil 3. Like, it has the same tone, the same fucking color grade filter, the dryness.
Everybody's in cars again.
Yeah, everyone's in cars again. We're back to Mad Max style fucking, and like, this is Oh my god!
And not to mention bringing back the gallery of forgettable actors and actresses in this movie. Like I could not tell you one of their names. I could not tell you shit about them. Not one.
Nope. Because they don't matter. Because this movie doesn't care about them. It doesn't care about
apparently,
you.
Apparently they do matter because we brought back a villain who apparently is the villain of the entire franchise.
Oh my god, fucking! And it's not even the same guy. He has a whole. He has 3 different names throughout this entire franchise. First, he was William Quicken. Next, he's Dr. Isaac or something like. Yeah, Dr. Isaac.
Dr. Isaacs.
And then he's also this weird fucking preacher guy who's trying to. He has a cult.
What was the point of that?
I don't know.
Like, what was the point of that whole like weird preacher version of himself? Like, what was the like? Why does this happen? Why is this happening?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is him. This is him. Which, by the way, I should also point out, this is Paul Wes Anderson's need to, like I said, bring back that theme from 3, where he must have watched. This time around, he got a chance to watch Mad Max Fury Road, and then he said, "You know what? I want to do an on the road, ragtag thing movie again, where I have like people like kind of surviving in vehicles and just everything's desolate. I want to go back to that." And that's what he did in this movie.
Yeah, sure thing, Paul. Just put the script on the desk by morning.
Exactly.
He said, "I gave it to you on a napkin. That's how I do these things now. So here you go. Let's get it in production."
I have too much time. I don't have enough time to write it out, but here it is.
I'm a busy man. I have other movies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm working on Monster Hunter. I got the rights to that, so I think I'm gonna do that now.
My dream movie.
Exactly. Fucking this movie is not only does it looks bad. Me as I'm a film editor. I'm a video editor and everything. I edit, and I'm not saying I'm the best one. I'm the best at it and everything, but I can tell a good edit and a bad edit. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes on a scale such as this. When it comes to the theater, when this movie's probably spending like at least $20 million. They did not put any money in the editing because it gave me a fucking headache. I came to a point where I was literally counting the seconds in between each cut, and it was just seconds. It was literally one cut, 2 cut, 1 second. It's just madness. I don't know how.
When you pointed that out to me, I was amazed. Like I knew the movie was bad.
I got frustrated. How dare you do this?
What? Wow. Go on.
I had to have you guys see what I saw because I was just suffering. Just like I can't watch this. It was giving me a headache. I don't know what's going on. The information's not like you could have an action sequence and try your best to edit it so it seems chaotic, but there has to be some sort of order so the information can be the information can be given to the audience and they can keep up. If that's not the case, then it's just a mess. It's just camera shaking and things are happening in between these cuts and you just can't keep up. You can't. Then until it slows down, you feel like Alice went from driving to being on the road in front of fire, in front of a fucking car that's on fire. Like, what happened? I don't know. She just got there somehow. It's just painful. And God, like I don't. Then somehow, like we go from her being on the road to her finding these other people. I guess Claire's alive, or whatever. Who cares? And they're trying to destroy all these zombies, these zillions of zombies with fire.
And another underground facility.
And yes. And then she's given.
Actually, isn't this the original one?
Yeah, she is told by the Queen, the program from the original movie, even though it's not really her, but whatever. But she's told to go back to Raccoon City for some reason. I forgot. I don't even care.
Home sweet home.
Yeah,
because her programming says to look out for humanity. At the same time, it's to go for Umbrella. So she's conflicted because she can't hurt an employee of Umbrella. So she's asking Alice to do her bidding for her.
Basically, yeah, because it's against her programming to kill a member of the Umbrella Corporation ever. Even though it's funny, like, why are we at this point? I thought you were the bad guy. You were the bad guy in the last part of the 5th movie. So what happened? But yeah, like it. Oh yeah, and it's also dropped that she tells Alice that there's only there's only 4,000 people left in the entire world. 4,000.
And they had the
Knock off another
antivirus.
1,000. Knock off another 100 for those fucking people that got blown up at the beginning of Retribution. Like, they got massacred.
Oh my god.
Let's not forget that they have the antidote, and the antidote must be released topside, otherwise it can't become airborne. Like the T virus became airborne because it released.
What does that even mean? What you say? They say that T virus is airborne. Shouldn't everyone be just dead anyway? Or somehow infected, because the T virus mutates people, infect people. Like it doesn't have to wait until you're dead to infect you. You know what I mean? Just like you get bit by a zombie. You get bit by a zombie and you'll probably die and come back as a zombie, whatever, or you mutate into the zombie. If the T virus is in the air, what's stopping the mutation?
Willpower.
Yeah, clearly willpower.
Yeah,
I don't understand a lot.
Yeah, it makes.
I don't understand a lot about this movie. Like, a lot about this movie didn't make, like, okay, so when we get past all like the deaths in this movie, which by the way, forgettable 100%. Like, I could not give a shit about anyone in here. Like,
some of them made me laugh at least. I think like some stupid ones. Like, why did you do that? Like, like that kept happening. Like, why are you doing this? No wonder you're dead, because you're dumb. Everyone dumb in this film. Everybody. Fuck. But continue. I'm sorry, Jamal.
Somebody had a fucking nail gun. Like, was that like a personality thing? Like, there are guns. There are actual guns. Like, we have that. There's only 4,000 people left in the world. There's more than enough guns for you, bro. Get a real weapon, not a fucking nail gun. Like, are you serious? Like, no wonder why we can't fucking board shit up in here, because you're using all the nails to kill the zombies.
And they had the nerve to give her a time limit to how fast she can get to the Red Queen's base, and she stops midway to help these people.
Exactly. It's the time is constantly being ignored. Like, you have a time limit. That time is up already. Okay, you're supposed to get to this point. You're supposed to get this done in a certain amount of hours, and according to the movie, it's basically over with. But no, we're just gonna ignore that.
And
like,
Ruby Rose shows up again. Like, shows up like. She just likes to pick. She really knows how to pick a franchise, doesn't she? Like, she shows up. Hey, my dad was a mechanic, so I guess that means I can make these giant Home Alone traps for zombies in 2 minutes. Like, in 3 minutes.
I would rather you have not even tried to like give an excuse on how she's doing it, because the movie, no other part of the movie cares. No one cares about everything else. No one's explaining anything else. But we have to go through this like 10-minute dialogue about your father and how you used to do things and blah blah. I don't give a fuck about you. All right,
right.
About every one of these expendable characters.
Exactly. You're just like them. You just got a little bit more lines, and you probably got paid a little bit more. But at the end of the day, when you die, I will laugh, and I did, because it was dumb.
Yeah, it was really,
she got turned into chop suey. Just ripped apart.
That was gross.
That was funny.
And then the Alice character had the nerve to get angry at these people dying, like she knew them.
Exactly. Do you know them? She didn't care. You don't know these people. I have to say, I don't know why Alice gets attached so easily to characters, because they die
so
around
fast. Like,
why? I don't know. She reminds me of, like, this kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts. She reminds me of Sora. The fact that you know how Sora, Clarence, he gets attached to so many people, and then he's like, they're my friends, but he knows nothing about them at all.
All right, you're my best friend now. I met you like 30 minutes ago. Best friend.
And we're friends now. Why do you care? You don't know them.
Right.
Sorry. Then, like, yeah, that shit happens in the movie. People die. No one cares. And then we get to the wonderful retcons of the entire franchise, of how Alice is a clone and everyone is Alice, because the person who runs the company is Alice, but older. Alice is a clone.
Yeah.
She's always been a clone. She wasn't the original.
Mm.
The little girl that you saw in the beginning was her as a little kid. Is model of her as being a little model after her being a little kid. And then the girl, and I guess the daughter.
So that her father? So is that her father then?
I don't know. Maybe. Who know? Like
no, her father was the owner of Umbrella, who they killed. In the little previews for this movie, like at the end, like when they were talking about it. Well, go on. I'm sorry.
No. Like I get what you're saying. I think that's another retcon, because I think Clarence is talking about how in 2 we saw the father of the little girl
of who she was modeled after.
That's who she's modeled after. So technically, that's Alice too, or isn't it? Who? What? It makes
if exactly, because if this little girl is modeled after her when she was growing up, where is older Alice's English accent? Like, where did that come from? Like, I was under the impression that in Apocalypse, Dr. Ashford is responsible for making the Red Queen, of which who his daughter is based on, who the Red Queen is based off his daughter. Mm-hmm. But apparently it's not somehow.
Guys, clearly this is a different Red Queen, different basis.
Oh yeah. Every facility has a different Red Queen, I suppose.
I guess, because there was the Queen has a sister too. I met your sister. She was a bitch. Remember that? I forgot which one that was in. I guess she's the white. I don't know. They were trying to do a really bad Alice in Wonderland reference. They're dumb. They're done for that. They couldn't even do it right. It was easy. And that, and then I don't know. There's so many clones. There's so much.
3 generations of Alice in one movie.
3 generations
young,
of
and current.
The bitches.
That was funny. What did he say? That he said that was a funny line to me.
Yeah, I forgot. He's just like the 3 generation of bitch or some shit like that.
Yeah, either way, it was funny, but it was also forgettable because I don't remember it. Let's talk about some inconsistencies that happened in the crescendo of this movie, I suppose, if you can even call it that, because this movie was just falling apart until it was over. Wesker gets taken out by
a door.
A door? Like his leg. This man can move fast enough to avoid a complete splitting of atoms causing a nuclear wipeout. This man can survive 2 nuclear explosions, a plane crash, and dodge bullets.
He survived his skull being exploded.
Exactly. And this man can't move fast enough to avoid a door? Like, what?
A foot injury is what killed Wesker.
Yeah. Make no mistake, a foot injury is what killed Wesker in this movie. Yep. That's the man who survived a nuclear blast and multiple bullets and an explosion and head wounds got taken out by a goddamn door.
Like they kept building Wesker up through all these films to him to just be second to Jero, or whatever his fucking name was.
Dr. Jero.
Dr. Jero. Or Dr. Isaac, who comes out of nowhere, who apparently is a clone.
Who was he is also perfectly bonded with the T virus.
Yes, and he also has a program within him to make him faster and stronger. Like he can analyze situations. Stuff. We have this huge this very long sequence of him like Alice going through all the probabilities of how he could take him out, and then he's like, "Yeah, but don't, Alice. You die if you try anything." Okay, I've already seen it, because he could see the probabilities or whatever that was in his programming. I'm like, why he has a computer?
He's
in his
got the
head?
Midnighter's powers.
Exactly, and he dies from the laser thing again. Didn't he die from the laser gate again or some shit?
I'll be honest, I don't remember how he dies.
Oh my god.
I'm in the same boat. I don't remember.
No. He dies by getting stabbed by his weird preacher clone.
Oh yeah,
which,
yeah.
If the man can see probability, How
Why
did
couldn't
he
he see
let that happen? Exactly. How did he let this erratic, psychopathic clone of himself walk up on him and stab him? Like,
Because the computer only evaluates threats to himself, and you're always, I don't know.
Don't
Maybe
explain the
because
movie.
don't you dare.
They don't know. If they don't know, you
all right,
don't.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You try to help them. There's no helping them. They're dumb. This is dumb.
Like,
Yeah. And then what? And then like okay, one of the dumbest parts. Apparently, she finally gets the cure. Right? She finally gets the antivirus, whatever cure for the disease, and she has to get it airborne. Tell me why she only has one container, right?
mm-hmm.
And if apparently this movie doesn't knows more about fucking airborne pathogens than I do, because I don't think that you throwing down a cure for a viral infection or viral disease or whatever on the ground and then it just spreads out, like it literally just goes around curing people like some kind of weird wave of cure, killing anything that's the disease. That's not how it works.
Because
obviously it does, because the first time they broke the T virus, it just spread through the facility. Like, I mean, they're just trying to keep up with their continuity, obviously.
Obviously, yeah, even though that's dumb as yeah, okay. So yeah, like there's a horde of zombies coming for Alice, and she has like 1 second. I mean, I'm just kidding. 10 seconds, 8, 10 seconds. Like just keep going back and forth, and then she finally drops it, and it breaks, and then all the zombies, as soon as it breaks, all the zombies in a wave just fall. They just fall in a wave. Like, wait, what? What is that?
Like,
even?
exactly, like which makes me think that, remember in Resident Evil 2 when they all had like the cure for they had the same injection and they just gave it to themselves? Yeah, why didn't they just throw it on the floor? It just stop the whole thing right there. Could have just
you would think the guy who made
two
the
vials
would know how the cure works and would have just dropped the cure thing to fucking kill all the zombies.
Yeah, Ashford had like he gave his daughter those injections every week. She carried around a case of them. Like, if he just went around dropping those vials on the floor, we wouldn't have had this happen. This whole franchise could have been over.
And obviously, if if it was that easy, why would his daughter need to be constantly injected with the cure?
Right? Why would she need to?
So yeah, okay.
This movie is a chronological mess with no true story, and they kept trying to make a new one with each movie.
God. It's so bad because like, why would they constantly have to inject her if the cure is perfect? All you have to do is drop the vial on the floor, and it could just spread to the corners of the earth. Like, oh my god! Talk about a huge ass plot hole.
Huge fucking dump on their just. And then we go. Okay. Also, it was all stated before we got to this point that Alice was going to apparently just die.
Yeah, because her clone cells are breaking down somehow.
Yeah. No, I forgot.
I missed that part.
I don't know why she was supposed to die. I think did she have the I don't.
Because Milla Jovovich can't. She seems to like doing this thing in her movies where, if we do any other Milla Jovovich movie like Ultraviolet or whatever, you find out that she likes being the character with a curse or a time limit to survive or do something, and this is where she thinks that she can thrive, because the time limit is supposed to give her character a sense of urgency or reason for us to be invested in her getting where she's supposed to go. And therefore she doesn't really have to act as hard, because it's like we want her to get to where she's going. Like that.
Oh my god. Well, with that, she was supposed to die, and good riddance. I was like, good. Kill her, please. Just let me have some closure to know that this series is done. But I couldn't even have that. Okay, the series is not, I mean, it's done, but fucking she lived anyway. There was no point. And then the virus didn't do shit to the fucking flying demons that are in the sky with faces.
Yeah, like, what? I guess guys, just because it's an airborne virus doesn't mean it's, airborne. It can't catch up with the flying creatures.
Did you not see the zombies all fall all at once?
I did.
Like it spread like some kind of bomb, like it was a cure bomb. So everything in the vicinity should have been just dead and cured at that point. I don't care. She did say it's going to take years before the virus can spread. Like, are you sure? Because that was pretty fucking fast.
It was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick at how fast it spread and how effective it was. So shut the fuck up. Like, this movie is... I was just so happy where it just literally just ended.
And let's not forget the reward that she got. Memories. Now she's a complete human being.
Oh my god.
Childhood memory.
Best acting I've ever seen. She was really into it there. She just really pulled it out, guys.
Oh yeah, and she has a friend, Claire Liv. There you go. For some reason. Look, I think if they really wanted a character moment at that moment, she should have refused to take the memory. She's like, I know who I am. And then it could have started, my name is Alice.
Alice Skywalker.
Yeah. That movie will never go away.
It
never.
Should.
It will never. We'll keep talking about it forever. Alice Chewbacca. Alice. I don't know. But yeah, it's over. That movie series is over.
It's the final chapter.
It's the final chapter in this series until they go on to Monster Hunter.
It's like somebody said, man, those Resident Evil movies were terrible. You know what we should do? We should reboot them. Yeah. And then somebody was like, no, let's reboot them, but as the games. Like, why do we want to reboot a shitty movie franchise? We can reboot our video game thing instead. And they're like, oh, I guess that is a good idea.
That's a better idea, yes. Granted, this film franchise as a whole, fun fact, has made over $1 billion. It is the highest grossing horror franchise of all time.
Christ,
even though I would not consider this horror whatsoever. None of this is horror. Just because there are zombies in it does not automatically make it horror, but whatever. This is a fucking action franchise. How dare you put this... Spooky. What? When? The first movie, maybe. Any other time, no.
No, not at all. Like, even Resident Evil for a while took a hard detour from the horror movie. You're like 5, they just completely went action movie survival, like action movie on
Afterlife. 5, fucking 3 was a completely different movie for like genre. It was like this post-apocalyptic Mad Max genre, whatever
that shit was. Like, yeah. Okay, so overall, guys, like, what would you rate this series? Because I gotta know before we go forward.
You can go first, Clarence.
Okay. I could always be proven wrong, but I think for how many movies this franchise gave us, it's probably one of the worst movie franchises of all time.
I can't. It's hard to argue that. Like, as a franchise, like as a whole, I don't know. I can't think of another one.
That was just as bad.
Like each individual film hit theaters. Yes. So somebody thought this was silver screen worthy the entire way.
Each time, exactly.
When you have a franchise like Tremors, the first one was in, and the second one, third, fourth, whatever, you don't even know they exist, right? Same thing with Dragonheart. You don't know it's a franchise.
What?
But now you do. Dragonheart is a franchise.
Yeah, it is. Ugh. They just keep going. Scorpion King is a franchise.
Scorpion King. Shit.
All of these movies went straight to DVD, and they knew what they were.
Rightfully so.
You know what they were.
Exactly.
Someone somewhere said these are all silver screen worthy, and they all came towards the silver screen. And yeah, even though they're successful, as far as like an entertainment, even as an entertainment piece, I think this is probably one of the worst movie franchises of all time.
You know what? respectfully I disagree. You know what? Because I
that's
feel
fine.
like this franchise is not only part of the culture, but it also manages to steal everything from the culture and make it its own, but not really. Like when else
Whose
in the
culture?
same
Culture.
when in the same franchise can you get Mad Max, but you can also get The Matrix at the same time?
God.
Like you just don't get that. Like
you know what? And guess what? You know why you don't get that?
Because
it's
it's
not a
usually
good idea.
It doesn't work, my
It's not a
friend.
good idea. That's why people don't say, maybe I should mix Mad Max in this film, and then maybe I should do The Matrix. And then no, they don't. They are, they are mindful to keep consistently making the movies feel the same. Not this time. Not this film. Not this film franchise.
Hey, you want to talk about the worst film franchise in my opinion? Like that's a whole other topic. But I think you can do more damage with less. Like this movie was like literally like a draft away from being legit. Like, and they just kept. The problem is that they just kept trying to figure out the draft with each movie iteration. Like, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. No, we should do this. No, let's finish this thing up. It didn't take them. I mean, I could argue that in 5 movies, they gave me some legit, decent like films.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I don't want none of that. And is like you could argue that they gave you something to like at least like enjoy, like, and you never were really invested like that. So as bad as he can get, it actually worked to its favor to some extent. Unlike some movie franchises, okay, I'll test it out real quick. Were you more disappointed by Rise of Skywalker or Afterlife?
I was more disappointed by Afterlife. Yeah.
Really?
Like I said, hear me out, because I knew I wasn't going to like the direction these Star Wars. I knew that. So I didn't have any expectations, right? And I know Star Wars, regardless of how big of a success it is or large of a failure it is, it'll keep coming back. Resident Evil has always been a failure, and it kept coming back.
Like a zombie.
Zombie and Star Wars don't carry the same weight, but apparently in this situation they do. So I was more disappointed by the fact these Resident Evil movies kept coming out and they kept being bad and getting worse and having less quality. I was more disappointed by that. We already had 3 bad Star Wars movies. What's another 3?
No, I'm gonna have to disagree there, because in my mind, I expect the best from Star Wars. I expect them to be.
It's not about whether you agree or disagree. You asked me, and I gave you my answer.
Right, and I'm elaborating where I'm coming. It's like I feel like I just think it's not that I had high hopes for Star Wars. It's just that I expect them to put their best foot forward. Like, even if that best foot forward comes from 2 vastly different directors. This film franchise was directed by the same man, but still felt like it was
not every time.
Well, what was it?
No, it wasn't. Not every time. Like sometimes he was just a writer or a producer, but I think that he directed.
This one, I can definitely feel like. Wait, was this last one directed by him?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, this one was definitely last.
Extinction wasn't directed by him, was it?
I don't think so. Like I said, I think that was like he directed like maybe 3 out of the 6, and then like another 3, like Paul W. Wait, nope. There you are. Okay, let me look at this. Give me 1 second. Director, yeah, he directed Final Chapter, Retribution, Afterlife, and the first one. So he directed 4 out of the 6.
He didn't direct the second one?
Nope.
Well, that fucking shows, because I like that.
But
look, The point I'm making here is that I feel like this movie franchise was less of a disappointment because it was never any. I never held it as a, or it, in my opinion, and I believe in the hearts of others, it was not. It was not ever seen as a legit, Resident Evil like movie franchise, even though it is, but it was never viewed that way. And with their trajectory of just like 3 movies, as far as I'd seen, like I had no hopes for them becoming like the perfect Resident Evil franchise. Like I had no hopes that they were ever going to get to a peak where it was good and everything was game accurate. Where Star Wars, on the other hand, is like you guys have the freedom to make this up, and still you just don't have to, just don't fuck it up. And and when they did fuck it up, it just, all right. I'm not gonna make this about Star Wars because I was gonna say something about that, but I had what I'm saying is that there was, while everything in the trash, this franchise was just trash, there are still parts of it that I actually did enjoy and will always have fond memories of. But yeah, I mean, ultimately this franchise was not consistent, even if it was for the most part directed half by the same man. Like it just, for me, this movie has got to be like this franchise has got to be overall a 4 for me.
Out of what?
Out of 10.
Right.
No, you know what? I lied. It's a 6 out of 10. There you go.
Damn. That's passing. I mean,
wait,
don't give me...
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend anybody watch these in any circumstance.
Like, I would only recommend this film to people who enjoy bad movies and can appreciate them. Because, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it as like, hey, if you want to see some good action films or a good horror film, watch any film in the Resident Evil franchise, because they're just a mixed bag. Like I give this, like, if we're doing it out of 10, I would give it like 5. It's a mixed bag. I don't, like, I can appreciate certain things because I've been through them, but I would never recommend these Resident Evil films unless like we're high or drunk and we have nothing else to watch and want to relive some like good bad movie days. You know what I mean? Like if I want to, like sometimes, I like to go back and watch fucking The Last Airbender because it's fucking hilarious. It's terrible, but
I don't
hilarious.
think I share the same sentiment, but I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
is a friend. Like Clarence knows personally, I'll recommend Ultraviolet because if you want to see how bad, if you want to see how bad things can, like,
really get.
Yeah. Especially when you have no other film franchise, no part of the writing is done for you. You get to make it up 100% because nobody knows what the fuck it is, and yet still somehow you can produce like something that is so heinous in execution. You wonder, are you doing it just to punish the people who are watching?
I still forget that's a vampire. That's a vampire movie. It's weird.
Apparently so.
Vampire? It is?
Yeah, it's a vampire movie.
Don't you notice by their vampire teeth? Come on, dude.
Yeah, vampire. She's a vampire.
Clearly.
There's a bunch of vampires.
Guys, I would recommend it to people. I would recommend, hey, because let's be real here. Not everybody is into good movies, like, or even speaking objectively, like nobody. There are hundreds of people out here. Like if you look up YouTube comments under any like Resident Evil video or clip or whatever, you'll always find exactly. So I don't think I would recommend it to anybody I know, but there are tons of people who watch this franchise and
that is clearly obvious, Jamal, because the movie franchise is successful. Like, we know people went out to see this film. That's the only reason why they made more. People went out to see this over and over and over again. There is an audience for this. But me as
even
a person,
you actually paid for some of this. So
I have a morbid curiosity, and I also like punishment. So I go see bad movies. I just do, but I know they're bad. It's
like
not because no. I wish I didn't go see that one.
Me too. Honestly, the more I think about it, like Virus 2, like I really wish I didn't go see that.
Yeah, that Like, there's bad, and there's just insulting bad. Like, you just make a movie that makes you feel bad. Make you like, why did I even come see? Like, that last chapter was like, why did I come see this movie? I know I need to finish the franchise because I've been watching for so many years, but I could have just walked away.
The fight?
Yeah.
That phrase got more people in trouble than it has been.
Yep. It is done less good, more bad than good, that phrase. I've gotten this far. I should just continue. No. Something's telling you to stop. You should just stop now.
It's like if I had just left the theater and stayed out after Afterlife, I wouldn't have seen Retribution, which I did somewhat enjoy.
And it sucked you back in. It's like
it sucked me back in. And if I hadn't seen, and if I had just walked away then I wouldn't have seen Violence. And I could have spared myself. But life, as they say, goes on.
It's a learning. Exactly, it's a learning process. We go on, but the Resident Evil franchise, like, I can see why Clarence would say this is the worst one of all time. It may be in recent history, like in the 2000s. I can't really think of another franchise that's this bad consistently. But it's for somebody. It just ain't for me, and I can appreciate the shit in it. Would I recommend it to people? No. I just like to I would rather just keep it to myself how bad it is, because I don't want to sit next to someone and then realize they like it. That's scary to me.
Yeah, that would be
like, wow, this is really good. Like, they're at the edge of the seat, like, oh no.
I that's why I don't really like to watch movies
with your mom.
Yeah, because I feel like I would be like, what are you talking? You know what? I'm out.
You don't want to come to the realization their tastes.
No, I've already come to that realization.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. You just want them to see what you see. Bad. Just dumb. That's okay. But yeah, so
yeah, having said that, I think did you guys rate the movie or the franchise or are we you just give
I never gave it a number. It's
just bad.
That's fair.
No number quantifiable. It's a fun experience if you're sitting there with friends and everybody is suffering together. Outside of that, you're only doing yourself a disservice by experiencing.
Exactly. That's the most.
Just stub your toe by yourself. You're trying to do.
It's a communal experience, just like a lot of bad movies. It's better with company. But would you watch these by yourself? Fuck no. Not even on a Sunday in the background. Fuck that.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Just shit.
And I can see what Clarence was talking about when it comes to Star Wars, because, like, yeah, Star Wars will keep coming back. Resident Evil, I don't know if this is coming back. I'm hoping it's getting that show. But is it? I don't know. Who knows? Star Wars will just keep coming back. So it could be as bad as it wants. And it makes me mad because I'm, and this film also puts this film franchise puts the wrong ideas out there for video game franchises to be films. Because there's a lot of good there's a lot of good games that could be movies that are basically movies. All you need to do, all the pieces is there, is just do it. But if they look at this and see like, oh, this is successful, I want to do that, you get shit like Assassin's Creed. Remember that?
Well, I liken this back to the Marvel era. Like the video, just like the comic book movie franchise, the video game franchise has to learn. They need to see how bad it is.
Mm-hmm. You see that too. But how long do they have to do this? How long?
Like fucking thing. As long as it takes. As long as I really wish they wouldn't keep slaughtering my favorite video game franchise, but they need to learn. They need to learn. Like, you can't just do this. Like,
okay, when are they going to learn? That's the thing. When are they going?
I think they're starting to learn because look how. I think they're starting to learn because look how fast this Uncharted movie, this supposed Uncharted movie, keeps never getting off the ground. Like, at first it has actors attached to it, it has a director, and then it just keeps dropping off to the point where it's like I don't even remember. There are times where I didn't remember that they were supposed to be making this movie. Like, they're learning. Like, ooh, maybe they're learning. Like, ooh, you know what? Maybe this isn't a good idea.
maybe we should try something else. Maybe we should
Yeah,
try.
maybe I'm just being hopeful here, but I started to think that maybe they're catching on. Like, we shouldn't put this out because this is not gonna be good.
Like, I'm hoping you're right. Like, 'cause like anything could be good over time if they keep trying, but you never know how long it will take to be good in the first place. Like, no one knew how long it would take for superhero movies to actually be really good. You know, before it goes from just bad and cheesy to a mixed bag to like, oh, these are pretty okay, to like, oh my god, these are fucking amazing. You know, and it took years, it took decades.
Yeah.
Video game movies, we'll see. Hell, with anime live action films, we will see. It's
These
just
anime films they're getting there, dude. They're getting there.
they are getting
They're
there.
solid.
Okay.
What was it? It was Cloud Atlas or something that was like people didn't know it was an anime, but it was actually really really good.
Cloud Atlas is an anime?
One of them, I think. Yeah.
What? Okay. That's the one with they're going through different lives and shit, right? With
I'm
Tom
pretty
Hanks.
sure.
Ugh, I
Tom
remember
Cruise?
that movie. Tom Hanks,
Yeah, that was it.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, Ben
Ugh.
Cumberbatch. Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know him before he started stream.
Yeah, like it's gonna take a bit, but then when the standard has been met consistently, then we'll have better stuff because there'll be a standard that's been hit, and everyone knows that you can't go back after you reach that standard. Like once you hit this point, you can't go back, and if you do come back, you're gonna be horrendously mocked for it.
Yeah.
Like Bloodshot.
Like Bloodshot was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already have good book at no way. There's no reason to fail. No reason.
Yeah. So time will tell, guys. But Resident Evil movie's bad. So what's next? Are we going down under? We're going to Underworld, guys?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. All right. Underworld's next.
Yay.
Jamal, okay. How about this? Clarence, you can choose the next one after Underworld. How about that?
Fair enough.
Fairness, eh? Okay. At least that gives you a little hope while you're, watching Underworld with us. Every single one, by the way.
Shit else.
All 4 of them.
All 5 of them.
Scorn at you guys.
5.
Scowl at
you. Okay. Hey, whatever gets you in that seat, it's okay. So.
You need new seats.
I need a fucking couch. Don't fucking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit in that fucking chair again. My ass, it hurts.
Bring a fucking chair.
I get there fast enough. I just don't want to sit in that fucking.
If you don't like it, bring your own. All right.
Yeah. Bring your own. You can sit in it.
Bring your own chair.
I have my own chairs.
I'm talking to Clarence.
Oh yeah. Clarence, you have a truck. Bring fucking chair.
Yeah.
Bring a couch. Bring a beanbag.
It's okay.
But okay. So Jamal, I think it's time for you to play us out.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. If you were listening, for any length of time, when we do these thirst quenchers, we like to just what we do. We like to review stuff. In this case, it was a movie franchise that we have not got around to seeing, but given the quarantine and there's not a lot of anything going on, we have time to go back and reflect on what the past has given us, and hopefully if you like this, we will have more coming for you guys.
So with that, follow us on Twitter, smash that like button because this is going to be on YouTube, and subscribe for more thirstiness.
Could we do like a live party of these?
We need a camera.
I thought you had one.
I don't anymore.
Damn.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's gone.
Well, that needs to be discussed. But yeah, I would like the video viewing. I would like to do that at some point. All right, guys. Having said that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Follow me at Art of Sumo on Instagram and Twitter, and follow our page at Thirsty Nerds on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Do it, Clarence.
I said follow me on Twitter, waifu.
At Waifu Record, right? You cut out. I had to make sure you said.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You can follow me at King K Thirsty on Instagram, and maybe on Twitter eventually. So I'm thinking about making a Twitter one. But yeah, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you watched the whole thing.
Yay.
Let us know how we did, or what you didn't like. Argue what's the worst film franchise that you know about that's worse than this. Put it down below.
Get passionate. Argue with us about what the best
yeah.
is.
Jamal and Clarence love to argue, so they would eat that shit up. So do it.
I don't want to talk.
Yes, you do.
Nope. All right. I'm out of here. We're out of here, guys.
All right. Bye.
Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts time.
Oh, you want to talk about it?